is Annika, aka Aksik, and warmest welcome to my channel. This time I thought to do something a little bit different. I thought I'll do the Share the Love tag that Eric from Colors channel kindly created for us, with 10 questions about different things that are our favorites or we just love about coloring. Of course, I am cheating. She kind of said, oh, one page or, share one thing. There is no way I'm going to be able to pick one favorite of anything. So yeah, there's going to be several. But I'll try to get through them fast enough. Now, the first question is, share a finished page you love. Tell us what you love about it. This page, I really love how it came together. I initially colored it for the beginning of the Wood Dragon year last year, and the color scheme and everything just came together so well. It's just looks good, and I think the likes on it also showed that other people thought on Instagram that it looked all right. So yeah, it's one of my all-time favorite pages. I think it just looks cool, and the texture on the dragon and the different kind of quirky clouds, and yeah, I think it's a good page. Then next one is in this book, and that's actually one of my favorite books as well, but this is one of the portraits. I like doing portraits. And in this one also, I think one of my main things I love here is the color scheme, how it came together so well, how the colors of the page are also kind of subtly repeating in her hair, how I've used the sparkle gel pen to kind of give it a bit of a more edge. I just think it's a really successful page, and she looks thoughtful and a bit gloomy. And this book, I actually have it tagged here because I have so many pages here. This book is, I like actually the whole spread. This, if you said one page, this would be my favorite. I just love the humor of it, the kind of the pet mother theme. But I love the whole spread, and kind of this kind of wink to Gustav Klimt's kiss, and this to old kind of Russian iconography or medieval iconography. I think they both came out. Colors are nice. There's different cool textures. There's loads of different media here. Just a sort of a page I love to do. So yeah, that's one of my favorite pages. And in this one, the thing I actually kind of really like, if you look at it first, it's not much to talk about, but that's my first page I ever finished totally in gouache. It's all done in gouache, except there's some sparkly acrylic marker and tiny bit of gel pen there, but everything else is done with gouache, and I was kind of proud of myself that I managed to do it. It's not perfect, but first time for everything, and for first time I think it's a very, very successful result. And then this one is not this one, although that's one of my, this one, I just think it came out, the face and the penguins came out so lovely and cute and almost lifelike, and the shading is nice, and the sky behind the background came out really cool. So everything just came together colors wise, and it looks fresh and cool and wintry, which is exactly what it's supposed to look. So that's one of my favorites. Now, next question. Share an uncolored page you love. Oh gosh, now that's going to be a challenge. I have many, but some of them, and the reasons why. This page, I would love to do it. The angle just looks so cool, and once I can figure out how I will approach the lighting and the shadows here, I will definitely want to do it. There's some other pages here which are the same story, that I just need to figure out, like this one. I'd love to do that, but I need to figure out how to depict the shadows and the angle here, and you know, how the light falls and what colors to use. I just think it looks so cool. Hannah Corzon's compilation, and I haven't colored yet because I have quite enough Hannah pages in other books as it is, but I only got it because of these two spreads. I think this spread is super cool, and I would like to do it one day when I can. It would take me half a month because of the, you know, loads of detail, and it's the spread. And I would love to do this Viking page as well. Do some cool sky here, and I'm not going to play something with the sea, and it's a fantastic page. I'd love to do that one day. I'm actually working in this book at the moment, but I would love to do that page one day. It's just so warm and lovely and kind and cozy, and has this kind of a little, you know, quirky humor to it. It's just exactly the sort of page I love to do. Okay, another book that is actually untouched. Made it because I've been kind of, you know, not sure about it and a bit intimidated. Maria Chola, I actually like her older stuff better than her newer stuff. Although no, yeah, it just, you know, depends what mood you're in. But I love this spread. I love the fox and the little girl and all those little creatures peeking, and I can just imagine it being a really cool scene. Would of course take ages to do, but I think the result would be absolutely fantastic. And another one is from this Crittersville. I keep forgetting the author of that one. I don't think it was actually easy to find that page with sharks playing chess and drinking cocktails. It's just so funny, and artwork is great, and it's, yeah, I'm going to do that hopefully soon because it's just lovely. Now, that's enough about the pages, uncolored pages. Share a book you love. What draws you to that book? Okay, I have many of them. Let's try to be quick about them. So, Bull, what draws me to it? This is my relaxation book. The artwork is fun. It's quirky. It's very recognizably hers, Diane Dufour. Her artwork is instantly recognizable as hers, which I love about, you know, artists. And it's easy. The small format makes it so approachable, and it's a great way to get a lovely page, you know, nice result, playing with different media because paper is decent as well, and get a good result with fairly short amount of time, because I'm not a very fast colorist, so those are like easy wins for me. Therefore, in this book, there's loads of different whips. So this is why it's one of my big favorites. I can't see myself totally finishing everything, partly because I've had a fair bit of bleeds and stuff here as well. And not every page would be, you know, yeah, I won't be bothered doing that page sometimes. But I'd say I might end up finishing most of them. This book. I'm not big into astrology as such, but I like, or tarot either, but I like the storied pages, the symbolism. You know, there's so much the author can add to those pages to add interest, and every author has slightly different. This I consider one of my best pages also. Every author has their own approach to the theme. And I have quite a few pages here, and I'm hoping to do most of the Great Arcana and most of the star signs, because they're just fun to do. It doesn't have to be about actual astrology or tarot. It's just really good artwork. And there's loads here to do. Once again, never going to finish it, because I don't think I ever will finish a book. It doesn't seem like it. But I can sure enjoy the process. this one, which is another one of those quirky books that is really good for relaxing. The artwork is once again very distinctive, different. It's a cheap book, really cheap book. The good paper. It's, you know, meant for kids, but I can't see anybody saying, you know, adults not allowed sign. It's not here. I can't see it. I think the pages come out fun. You can just throw color down, use whatever media you want. I've used here gouache, watercolor, acrylics, all sorts of different acrylic markers, water-based markers, gel pens, everything sparkles. It's just fun. You know, not everything has to be, you know, super serious and dramatic. Sometimes, and those pages are actually kind of detailed and long enough to do, they're still very relaxing. And this is one of my new favorites, Goddesses by Anna Yaren. And once again, I like the stories of her pages. I like how well, you know, she's researched things and added everything, added, you know, loads of relevant symbols and stories to the artwork. So while you're coloring, you're also learning about mythology. So I can see myself doing quite a lot of pages there in the future. Once again, they take quite a long time. This, once again, another zodiac. This is mainly because I like doing portraits, but I like doing quirky portraits. I do kind of a cutesy stuff as well, but usually I like my portraits with a bit of a character and edge. So I like these where I can use kind of a matte skin colors. I'm not really constrained by any rules or trying to be very realistic. They're just fun. I think that's one of my best efforts. The color scheme came out really cool. And his blue skin and the contrasts. So, you know, there's several pages here I've already finished, and I'm hoping to do at least one of each star sign. There's one male, one female, and one kind of a, like, symbols of the star sign, like this. So I don't think I'm going to fill the whole thing, but I will take my picks and at least try to do like 12 of them. So this is one of my favorites. Now, next question. Share a background you love. And was it a process of creating it or the end result you loved? Huh. Both. Both. Otherwise, it wouldn't be my favorite background. Okay, this is Hannah Carson Seasons, I think. Tilburg. Yeah, it's Seasons. And what I like about it here is, firstly, my favorite backgrounds tend to end up watercolor or gouache or acrylic backgrounds. And this is watercolor, loads of kind of, you know, different colors, very wet application. And then I've dropped in some metallics and then afterwards splattered some extra metallics on top and added little glowy bits. And especially, you know, if you move it in the light, the effect is really fun. I just like watching it, and also, you know, there's texture now, so really like that one. Then another Hannah Carson book, which I did quite recently, where I did very wet washes again, but then I applied salt afterwards to get those little textures here, kind of like frosty patterns, and then added acrylic markers and stickles, and, you know, it looks cool, it looks textured, it looks rich, exactly what I like. And just another sample, I'm not going too long with it. Pretty much anything I have done in Karina Kubikowska, because her books have good paper and take watercolors super well. Therefore, there's loads of fun backgrounds because I can just, you know, almost pour water onto them and try different techniques. Like there's some stenciling going on here, and then there's watercolors underneath. So pretty much most of the backgrounds here in this book that I've done, I like this background. I like this one, the way it kind of, the splatter of the metallics glows on it. I love these both. And once again, you know, just a wash, but then the little splatters of metallics when you move it and then you touch it especially, you get this textured feeling and different angles. Oh, here as well. It's just a lot happening here and it looks cool like this. Not that much on the photos, but in real life they look cool. Now share the pages, the type of pages you love to color. And is it a cutesy, portraits, realistic, fantasy? Why do you prefer that type? Okay, so I like a storied page. I like, one of my favorites would be storied page, you know, pages that have story or some sort of a scene in it, pages that have humor, pages that have kind of warmth and kindness to them, fantasy, mythology, you know, pretty much fairy tales. Just love coloring all of that. This is one of my kind of favorite books again, and I feel that in this book it's a super successful book because pretty much I want to color every page because every page is telling me a story. Like this one, not so much, but this one is telling me a story. This one also is telling me a story. This one is telling me a story. This one is telling me a story. It's just full of fantastic, fantastic pages, fantastically thought through. There's very few filler pages, although there's always that turtle with some sort of a building on its back. Although in this one, at least it's a sandcastle. So even that I kind of like. Red pandas riding the waves in the glazed donuts. Like, it's just charming. And I can see myself coloring here a lot. I'm hoping that now this year when Erica is doing the year of mythographic, that one of the months is definitely going to be this book, and I can hopefully, you know, that month will be motivated to color here a lot. Ooh, sparkly. And another thing I love to do is I love to render skin. I find it very therapeutic. It's kind of almost, it's super relaxing just to sit down and start, you know, from the zero and start doing skin. So I do a fair bit of portraits, but I do prefer, once again, portraits which are kind of quirky or have a bit of an edge. You know, just very rarely kind of, you know, pretty or just cutesy portraits do it for me. I have done that and I do enjoy them occasionally, but I will always go back to kind of this more of edgy or kind of, I like my women and men fierce and different and strong and with character. I actually love this one. It's done purely with watercolor, and I wanted her very, very pale, and it actually came out exactly like I wanted, which is cool. Share what objects you love to color. Hair, florals, landscapes, architecture. What are you excited to color? Okay, so definitely not hair, and not particularly florals. Landscapes, yeah. Architecture, not against it. I do love when there's people in my pages. I do like it. I like something central to the page, or animals, or, you know, some sort of a scene or something happening on the page. Or, you know, as I said, page that tells you some sort of a story. Or if I just do, you know, plain portraits for a while, I get tired of them. They are the fastest to do, but then I go back to something like this. I also love to do scenes. this is one of my favorite books now as well, and I would do more pages here if it liked water better, but it sadly does not. It breaks into little dots if you put water into it, so I have to base the pages with satin glazing or something else to be able to actually watercolor here. But watercolor is the best suited, I find, to this art style. I wouldn't want to do all that with a pencil, you know. But I really like the stuff here. Once again, you can see that it's a genuine artist vision about the scenes, and you can make them your own. You can change things. You can make them as busy or as minimalistic as you want. They give you a lot of room to play with scenery. So yeah, I love this book. I'd love to work here more. I'm very happy with that one. That was one of my first pages that I did with very, very thin layers of watercolor, because it had satin glazing, so you know you can't go in very strong because you will just rub things off. So I was just adding very thin layers, and it came out pretty good. What embellishments do you love to use? Well, I do love to add some sparkle, obviously, but you know, as I showed here, like everything is slightly sparkled up, and I do like glitter as well, and I do like stickles. I am just quite wary of using heavy glitter or stickles because it's hard to color on it afterwards if you use it in a book. So I tend to keep away from very heavy, very chunky glitter stuff. Although lately I have been kind of more bold about it, so I've just kind of decided for myself that I am never going to use, you know, color every page anyway, and I can just put more paper underneath, you know, between the pages, and I can allow myself, you know, some sparkly stuff. So here there's stickles, but what I use the most tends to be is acrylic glitter markers or sparkly gel pens, which are just super convenient. They're fast. You just grab a marker and, you know, put the sparkle down. Or I use metallic watercolors, which are also pretty fast and pretty easy to use. Like there's loads of it in this book. Most of the pages, like, you know, all those swirlies here are done with metallic watercolor. And I also like the subtle effects it gives. Over sparkling things like this one. If you move it, you can see there's actually a lot of sparkle here, but it doesn't hit you between the eyes. And I also try to kind of, if I use it, kind of blend, have a couple of different colors so they wouldn't be just blobs of sparkle. Like here, she is totally sparkled over. I first did all the shading on her dress and then put some sparkly Mod Podge on her, because I wanted her to be this luminous, sparkly figure, and that came out pretty well. So yeah, those are the embellishments I tend to use. What color you love to use on the page? Well, it is not, and is it the same as my favorite color? Absolutely not. In my everyday life, I tend to wear very dark, mostly black, and I maybe boost it with some details like a scarf, you know, that has color, or maybe some cardigan or something like this, but mostly I wear black. On my pages, I like my colors strong and saturated, and my other combo is kind of dark, fairly cold colors contrasted with something warm, like here, and also high contrast, like going from almost black to almost white in the background. the crystals same way, from very dark to very light. I think that gives a really cool effect, and also because now everything around those warm objects is cool, that brings those little foxes forward. And that's pretty much it. Share what hobbies you love other than coloring. Am I an indoor cat or more outdoorsy? Oh, I'm an indoor cat. I could just live indoors. Never been much into, maybe, you know, in my much younger years I was more into kind of wandering around in the woods, but not now. Hobbies that I love other than coloring. I read. I read a lot, and now with the coloring I've kind of switched a lot of my readings over to audiobooks, because it's kind of convenient, because you can do it in the same time. You can color and listen to the book. So I do a lot of that. I used to be into card making, but years ago, but I only do that now on special occasions, and if somebody needs a special card, because mine were, you know, big and elaborate and fancy, and yeah, they just take so much commitment and time that I'm not really doing that anymore on a regular basis. Share what you love most about coloring and our wonderful coloring community. Well, one of the main things that I really love is that there is a community for people who color, because in my real life there's absolutely nobody around me who would be even much into art, never mind coloring. There, you know, I might have to look around harder, but I have not really found anybody. Maybe I should create my own coloring circle somehow, get people into coloring. But because I love my own company more than going out, you know, it's kind of huge effort for me to kind of try to do it. So I really love that I have somebody to talk to and share our, you know, wins and losses, and also I have made quite a few really lovely friends with whom I now communicate about other things than just coloring. So also what I really love about coloring community is how friendly and welcoming and kind it is. At least I have had that experience. Like, I have not seen, I'm sure there always is some drama somewhere. I've been, you know, if there is some, I've been able to somehow ignore it or not stumble upon it. I just find the community kind, relaxed, and welcoming. So this would be the main thing I really admire about this community, and I'm really, really grateful that you're all here and you're all listening to me, and we all share the same interest, and you are kind enough to, you know, be with me as long as you have been now. I thank you very much. I thank you, Erica, for creating this tag, and I hope to see you again soon on my channel, and wishing you a good night or a good day or good morning, whatever the time is in your time zone, and hopefully see you again. Bye bye.